Hi everyone. So today we will be seeing the topic valuation of inventories, that is accounting standard 2. So before starting this standard, let us first understand what do we mean by the term inventories. So inventories are non-monetary assets, that is held by the organization for sale in the ordinary course of business. तो क्या होता है इन्वेंट्रीज? एक नॉन मॉनेटरी एसेट होता है which the organization is held by the organization for the sale in the ordinary course of business. ठीक है. Now inventories, देखो inventories are of 4 types: raw materials, work in progress, stores and spares, that is nut, bolt, etc., and finished goods. So you might have heard this line that inventories are valued at cost or NRV, whichever is less. But no, inventories are not cost at that way. It is only the finished goods that will be valued at cost or NRV, that is net realizable value, whichever is less. So raw material, work in progress, and stores and spares will be valued at cost itself, and only finished goods will be valued at cost or NRV, that is net realizable value, whichever is less. So in this standard, basically we have to deal with the valuation of finished goods. So how do we compute cost of finished goods? So for manufacturing organization, for trading organization, and for retail organization, there will be 3 different types of cost computation of finished goods. So here guys, let us first understand how to compute the cost of finished goods if for manufacturing organization. So for manufacturing organization, the cost will be valued finished goods at purchase cost plus conversion cost plus other cost. So what are the 3 costs that we have to add for manufacturing organization in order to compute the cost of finished goods? So very first one is purchase cost, which includes purchase price of raw material plus carriage inward plus duties and taxes which are not refundable. Because if we have, अगर बाहर से कुछ इम्पोर्ट किए, उसमें हम IGST दिए, ठीक है, सपोज GST दिए और टैक्स दिए, तो वो तो हमको क्रेडिट मिल जाएगा, ठीक है. तो वो जो क्रेडिट मिल जाएगा वो टैक्स ऐड नहीं करना है, वो टैक्स ऐड करना है जिसका क्रेडिट ना मिले, ठीक है. वो तो एक तरह क्रेडिट मिल गया तो एक तरह से वो रिफंडेबल ही हो गया, ठीक है. सो वी हैव टू ऐड परचेज प्राइस ऑफ रॉ मटेरियल, कैरेज इनवर्ड एंड ड्यूटीज एंड टैक्सेस विच आर नॉट रिफंडेबल. सो दीज 3 कम्स इन अंडर परचेज कॉस्ट. नाउ कन्वर्जन कॉस्ट में क्या आता है? डायरेक्ट लेबर कॉस्ट, फैक्ट्री ओवरहेड एंड इनडायरेक्ट लेबर कॉस्ट, ठीक है. तो ये आ जाएगा कन्वर्जन कॉस्ट में. रॉ मटेरियल को कन्वर्ट करते हैं ना जो फिनिश्ड कॉस्ट में, तो उसमें ये सारा कॉस्ट इन्वॉल्व होता है. नाउ कम्स अदर कॉस्ट. अदर कॉस्ट में क्या आता है? कॉस्ट इनकर टू ब्रिंग इन्वेंट्री टू इट्स प्रेजेंट शेप एंड लोकेशन. अब ऐसा थोड़ी कि जहाँ पे हमारा प्रोडक्ट बना वहीं से बेचना शुरू कर देंगे, ऐसा थोड़ी है. उसको लाना होगा मार्केट में, ठीक है, to bring it in its present shape and location. So this is how we compute the cost of finished goods for manufacturing organizations. Now for trading organization, cost will be obviously the cost will be the purchase cost, ठीक है. ट्रेडिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मतलब क्या? जो सामान खरीद के लाता है उसमें अपना प्रॉफिट ऐड करके बेच देता है. तो जो कॉस्ट पे वो खरीदा है, ठीक है, वही उसका हो जाएगा cost of valuing finished goods. So the purchase cost here includes obviously the purchase cost of purchase price of finished goods, carriage inward, and duties and taxes which are not refundable. So for trading organization, cost will be the purchase cost itself. Now AS-2 is not applicable on farm accounting. Okay. Now for retail organization का अगर वैल्यू करना है फिनिश्ड गुड्स तो उसका कैसे होगा? सबसे पहले एग्रीगेट सेलिंग प्राइस, ठीक है. जो भी एग्रीगेट सेलिंग प्राइस, रिटेल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन मतलब क्या होता है? सपोज कोई भी शॉप, ठीक है, तो उसका जो भी प्रोडक्ट है सबका एग्रीगेट कर देगा वो सेलिंग प्राइस. उसमें से माइनस कर देगा अपना एवरेज GP रेट, ठीक है. जो भी उसका ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट रेट होगा वो माइनस कर देगा, तो आ जाएगा कॉस्ट ऑफ इन्वेंट्री. सो दिस इज हाउ रिटेल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन विल वैल्यू इट्स फिनिश्ड गुड्स. Now, as we all know, finished goods are valued at cost or NRV, whichever is less, that is whichever is lower, and will be done for individual product, ठीक है. सारे individual product का ये निकालेंगे. Now, NRV is equal to मार्केट प्राइस माइनस एस्टिमेटेड सेलिंग एक्सपेंसेस। ऐसा नहीं है कि जो भी मार्केट प्राइस है वही नेट रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू होगा, ठीक है, वो ऐसा नहीं। नेट रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू मतलब क्या, जितना हम रियलाइज़ कर सकते हैं। तो ये नेट इसलिए क्योंकि इसमें मार्केट प्राइस में से हम लोग एस्टिमेटेड सेलिंग एक्सपेंस जो हुआ वो माइनस कर देते हैं, ठीक है। नाउ हियर कम्स वन इम्पॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन, दैट इज कैन अनप्रोवाइडेड डेप्रिसिएशन बी इंक्लूडेड इन कॉस्ट ऑफ इन्वेंट्री? So the answer will be no. If depreciation is provided by the organization, it means the management is not considering it to be a cost. So if it is not considered to be a cost, then it should not be included in the cost of inventory. So this is how we value inventories and finished goods. So now let us discuss the questions of the institute's book. From the institute's book, we are discussing question number 5, that is page number 533. Okay, so here is one misprint. It should be H. So how do you deal with the following? On 31st March 2012, the closing stock of Gaurav Limited includes 10,000 units costing at the rate rupees 10, that is rupees 1 lakh, okay, but the current market price as on that date was rupees 9, that is 90,000. So what would be the answer? How will we value this closing stock of Gaurav Limited? So as I have already told you, this closing stock should be obviously the finished product. So the finished goods are to be valued at cost or NRV, whichever is less. So let us come to the solution. According to AS-2, valuation of inventories will be lower of cost and NRV. In the present case, the cost, that is rupees 1 lakh, and the net realizable value, that is rupees 90,000. Therefore, the inventories will be valued at rupees 90,000, that is at net realizable value being the lower of the two. So ठीक है, देखो कॉस्ट था 1 लाख और मार्केट में बिक रहा था वो 90,000 का, तो विच एवर इज लेस, सो 90,000 वुड बी द आंसर। नाउ इलस्ट्रेशन नंबर 6, फ्रॉम द फॉलोइंग इंफॉर्मेशन प्रेजेंटेड बाय P Limited, ascertain the value of stock to be included in the balance sheet. What we have to do? We have to ascertain the value of stock. So cost price of the certain stock amounted to rupees 60,000, ठीक है। एक स्टॉक है 60,000 का, ऑब्सोलेट हो गया मतलब ख़राब हो गया। सो इट कैन बी यूज फॉर प्रोडक्शन पर्पज़ आफ्टर इनकरिंग रुपीज़ 10,000 फॉर मॉडिफिकेशन। ये जो ख़राब हो गया उसमें अगर हम 10,000 रुपये लगा के उसको ठीक कर देते तो वो ठीक हो जाएगा। एंड द सेम कुड बी यूज एज अ बाई प्रोडक्ट फॉर एन एग्जिस्टिंग प्रोडक्ट। द परचेज प्राइस ऑफ द सेम अमाउंट्स टू रुपीज़ 40,000, ठीक है। तो उसको हम ठीक कर दिए 10,000 मिला के, तो ये 60,000 वाला अब 40,000 में बिक रहा है। सो व्हाट विल बी द वैल्यू ऑफ स्टॉक? सो नाउ सॉल्यूशन, कॉस्ट प्राइस इज गिवन, दैट इज रुपीज 60,000 एंड नेट रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट दैट इज 40,000। इसमें से हम लोग माइनस कर लेंगे जो भी हमारा उसको ठीक करने का चार्जेस लगा, क्योंकि वो ऑब्सोलेट था तो उसमें हम लोग 10,000 का खर्चा लगा, तो 40,000 माइनस 10,000 विच इज़ 30,000। नाउ इन्वेंट्रीज आर वैल्यूड एट लोअर ऑफ कॉस्ट एंड नेट रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू, हेंस रुपीज़ 30,000 शुड बी ट्रीटेड एज वैल्यू ऑफ स्टॉक टू बी इंक्लूडेड इन बैलेंस शीट। सो इज इट क्लियर? नाउ नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन, दैट इज इलस्ट्रेशन 7. How do you deal with the following situation? How would you deal with the following situation? A company deals in purchase and sale of timber and has included notional interest charges calculated on the paid up share capital and free reserves in the value of stock of timber as at the balance sheet date as part of cost of holding the timber. So how are we dealing with this situation? Let us understand. तो ये एक जो डीलर है वो टिम्बर का सेल एंड परचेज करता है, ठीक है, सेल करता है, उसमें वो ये नोशनल इंटरेस्ट चार्जेस भी ऐड कर लिया। तो अब इस सिचुएशन में क्या हम लोग को शो करना पड़ेगा बैलेंस शीट में? नो, अकॉर्डिंग टू पैरा 12 ऑफ AS-2, वी डोंट नीड टू लर्न ऑल दिस पैरा, वी विल डायरेक्टली राइट अकॉर्डिंग टू पैरा according to AS-2, that is Accounting Standard 2, valuation of inventories, interest and other borrowing costs are usually considered as not relating to bringing the inventories to their present location and condition. ठीक है, ये इंटरेस्ट और बोरिंग कॉस्ट जो भी ये चार्ज किया नोशनल इंटरेस्ट चार्जेस, दैट इज नॉट कंसिडर्ड एज relating to bringing the inventories to their present location and condition, and are therefore usually not included in the cost of inventories. Hence, the valuation of closing stock of timber cannot be considered as it is not in conformity with AS-2. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Now let us come to illustration number 8. So इसमें देखो आइटम्स A, B and C जिसका हिस्टोरिकल कॉस्ट दिया है 40 लाख, 32 लाख, 16 लाख. नेट रियलाइजेबल वैल्यू क्या आ रहा है? A का 28 लाख, B का 32 लाख एंड C का 24 लाख. सो हाउ and what will be the value of closing stock? The closing stock is the finished goods and it is valued at cost or net realizable value, whichever is less. So A का cost है 40 lakh and net realizable value is 28 lakh. So the value of closing stock will be obviously lower of the two, that is 28 lakh. So likewise for B, it is the same for both. So it will be 32 lakh. And for C, historical cost is 16 lakh and it is getting realized value 24 lakh. So the answer will be 16 lakh. And next will be plus all these, we'll add up and then we are getting 76,000. So the closing stock will be valued at 76 lakh. I'm sorry, I told you 1,000. So 76 lakh is the answer. Now let us see illustration number 11, that is TV. See, cost price of all the different companies of TV are given and the total is given, and the expense which is incurred to bring it into the saleable condition, that is also given, and the net realizable value is also given. So how are we going to find the value of stock to be included in balance sheet? So listen, solution is valuation of inventories, that is inventory should be valued at lower of cost or net realizable value, whichever is less, on item by item basis. Okay, so we don't have to look all these total, we have to look item wise to calculate the cost. So cost price including expenses is 13,000. Obviously we have added the expenses over here, so 13,000, then 22,000, then 40,000, then 50,000, and then 125,000. This price, or I mean this cost, includes expenses. Now net realizable value क्या है? 3,000, 2,000, oh I'm sorry, it is 18,000, 30,000, 36,000, 55,000 and 1,39,000. So what will be the value of stock? Lower of the two. Here what is lower? 13,000. So 13,000, 22,000, 40, 36,000, and then here 50,000, and the total will be, we will add all this total. This total will be added and then it will come 1,21,000. So the value of stock that is to be included in the balance sheet will be rupees 1,21,000. So that will be the answer. Now same thing goes with illustration number 2 as well. The cost price is given and the net realizable value is given. So we will be writing here cost and net realizable value, and the value of closing stock will be lower of the two. And then we'll add all these value of closing stock of all these three items and we'll get value of stock to be considered for rupees 9,910 as per accounting standard 2. So this amount will be taken into consideration. So I think we have discussed 3-4 illustrations and the rest I gave up you as your homework. So ask me in the comments if you have any doubts in the leftover illustrations, and yeah, keep studying and I'll come with the next video in the next, maybe tomorrow or maybe in the next day. Okay, so next we are going to discuss accounting standard number 7, that is construction contracts. So till then, study well and be disciplined, and thank you so much for watching.